I think this movie, The Guest, fits right in with some of the other like bizarre things we've watched: Uncut Gems, Black Coat's Daughter, Autopsy of Jane Doe. In that it's different. It doesn't really fit in a specific genre or kind of movie. It's sort of doing its own thing, and
No, it's
I
weird as
would
shit.
yeah, and I'm discovering that I really like that kind of movie, and this is definitely that kind of movie.
Yes.
I'd heard about it several 2 or 3 years ago. A lot of YouTubers that I follow were like hyping it up and everything, and I remember putting it on a list of movies to watch, and then it came out on Blu-ray or whatever. And I put it on a list like I'm going to buy it, and I completely forgot about it. It's still on that list. I actually went back and looked, but I was looking through Netflix a couple days ago, and I saw it. I saw The Guest, and I was like, oh shit, that's that movie I wanted to watch. So I was like, well, hell, I brought it up to you and was like, hey, let's just watch it, and we'll do a review for the Friday show. And here we are. We watched it, and we're going to be talking about it.
The interesting part was when you were mentioning that it was the same guys that did Your Next and a couple of the other movies we've seen while
Yes,
we're just sitting on the couch watching movies. But
yeah, Your Next is a movie we really enjoyed, and yeah, same writer, same director, and they're also working. They're plan. They did some of those VHS movies, some segments in those VHS movies. The director is actually working on are doing the King Kong Godzilla movie, and then the two of them are working on a remake of the Korean film I Saw the Devil,
that
which
movie's
is
amazing.
which is a film. Yeah, we're big fans of. So yeah, these are two guys, Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett. Barrett's the writer. So these are two guys, yeah, that we've enjoyed some of the things they've worked on. And so yeah, I didn't even realize that when I initially knew about The Guest. So yeah, once we saw that, it's like, yeah, we got to watch this. But yeah, I'm Brian. This is Spencer, and this is Pulp Mythos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk about movies. We're doing Perry Mason on Sunday nights. We always do a different show on Sunday nights. We'll be doing Lovecraft Country, and I think we talked about doing The Boys, which will be
Yes.
Fridays. Mandalorian season 2, and we do movies every Friday. And today is The Guest. So there's, we always try to do the spoiler, no spoiler thing. It's a weird movie. It's very violent. It's rated R. There's action. I don't know if it's not. It's a hard movie to recommend or not recommend because I can't really say what it is without spoiling it. So I'll just say, if you like Dan Stevens, check it out because he's really good in it. The lead, I didn't get their names. I should have. The actress that stars in Following.
It follows.
It follows. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, you're right. Great movie. I don't think we watched.
Following's
Did we
that
watch
Kevin.
that together?
Yeah, we did.
Following is the Nolan film.
Well, Following is also that show with Kevin Bacon, wasn't it? The Following or some shit.
Was it?
I think
it
it's.
look that shit up.
I think it is. I think it's a show with Kevin Bacon.
Following. I don't know. When was it? When was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, Following is the.
Yes, The Following. I was right.
Oh, The Following. Okay.
Yeah, The Following. It's got Kevin Bacon, James Purefoy, and who else? I don't know any of these other people.
Following
Oh shit, though.
is a Christopher Nolan, his first film.
One of the chicks in this is in Justified, and The Following, not the movie we just watched.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, I just looked it up. Yeah. It got canceled. I don't think they finished, or did they finish it? I don't remember.
I don't think they finished.
Because it was, he was hunting this like serial killer or something, and I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that. It Follows is is a really cool horror film. Had we not seen it before, that would have been a perfect movie to review because it fits into the whole weird ass plot that I don't think anyone's really done before. and I definitely recommend that one too. But yeah, so the guest, I check it out. We're gonna go full into spoilers. Is there anything you want to say before that?
No, like you said, I don't remember if it was on or off air. The whole, if you like weird shit, watch it because it's super weird. It's several different movies wrapped into one movie.
Yeah. So the movie, it's basically it's basically two films, sort of three in a way.
Yeah.
You have the first part, which is about 30 minutes or so, where it's sort of this indie film about a family going through a loss, and then this guy comes into their life, and just how the different things that he does to sort of help them cope with their loss. Like that's the movie. Like literally, that's what it is. And holy shit, does it change directions completely? The second
Well,
part, it
even
turns into.
from the
Go ahead.
no, even from like the get go, he's super weird, but you feel like he's just weird. He's got good intentions. You feel like he's cares about the family. He's there to help them through the loss of their child, but even from the get go, he's just a weird dude.
That's true. Even in the you're right in the first like 5 or so minutes, he does a very weird thing when he sits on the bed and just stares. The Then it turns into an action movie and then like a horror movie. But let's dial it to the that first 30 minutes or so. And the main stars of the film outside of Dan Stevens. I don't know, that name's funny.
It's almost like a Wu Tang name generator name because it's so plain. It's like he didn't come up with it. Like that wasn't his name. He had some like word program just come up with the name for him.
Yeah, he like I say, he's great in this movie. So basically, you have the Peterson family, and you have Laura, Spencer, Luke, Anna,
Hey,
and then you had Caleb, who was killed in action. Well, based on what we find out, that's not completely the case. There's more to it than that, but the family's dealing with that loss, and then this guy shows up named David, and basically it's like, hey, I served with your son in the military, and he wanted me to, say that he loved you guys before he died, and blah blah blah. And so then he starts hanging out with this family, and the first chunk of the movie is him. Yeah, he's acting weird and everything, but at first he's going through and helping out like every family member. He's talking with the mother Laura about the loss of her son. He's Spencer has job issues and he's an alcoholic, and he's sort of hanging out with him. Luke is being bullied at school, getting his ass whooped, and he helps him. And then Anna works at a diner. She's in a shitty relationship, and he's trying to help her with that.
well, yeah, because from the jump, he's still weird, but from the beginning, I assumed he was weird because of the relationship he had with the son, Caleb. I figured it was something happened, or he told him something other than what he was alluding to. So even from the get go, I knew it was going to be kind of a creepy horror ish type movie. Just by who was doing it, and we looked that up before, but the beginning it didn't start like that, so I had no idea what was going on. I was like, this guy's really weird, but he feels like he's really trying to help them, and yeah, it was weird.
The Let's talk about the soundtrack. It's a very synth heavy, John Carpenter esque type soundtrack, which I enjoyed. The film, it's funny because it takes place. I like when movies sort of do that small town thing because it sort of takes away the dating of it. Now we know roughly because of the weapons being used what date the dating of it, and but outside of that, this story could have taken place in the 80s, hell, the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s on
Well,
forward.
the only part that really dated it was that she made him a mix CD, and I
A
couldn't
mix
stop fucking
CD.
laughing.
That, the fact that she made a mixtape was well, even
Yeah,
what was insane was that was even no one was doing that in 2014
no,
at all. So yeah, yeah,
that made me
that,
laugh.
but it was a very it had that small town thing. Like I could see in 2014.
Well, look at Napoleon Dynamite. It was supposedly set at the current time. It wasn't dated back. They were just in a super small town,
Hmm.
so it doesn't. Small towns kind of get trapped in decades sometimes.
Exactly. So yeah, it does that. The Let's see here. So one of the highlights of the movie in that first chunk is the bar scene. Like that's one of my favorite scenes on the whole movie.
Yes,
Um, Luke is being bullied at school by I guess they're a part of the football team.
I'm
Uh,
assuming they alluded to them to being athletes, and then
yeah.
when they go towards the bar, he said the bartender lets the football team drink there.
So Luke and David end up going to the bar. The guys are having drinks with their girls, hanging out, and David he he picks a fight. He picks a fight with the guys, and he's trying to prove a point. And that's one of the craziest things about the whole movie, even into the final scenes. It's strangely this sort of story arc for Luke and Anna to a degree, but Luke sort of um, you know standing up for himself. Even in the final scenes, and
Well,
this was
yeah,
the
and
first step of that.
this is a good foreshadowing to that. Um, he because like you said, he picks a fight. He orders himself. He calls it a fireball, and not like the fireball alcohol, but it was Tabasco and pepper or cinnamon schnapps or something like that.
Yeah,
So
fuck
it's a
that,
very
man.
so, and he lets Luke try it, and Luke's like, "Oh my god!" But then he orders the girls these blowjob shots, and the bartender keeps telling him, he's like, "Are you going to order the guys anything?" He's like, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "Well, that would be, polite of you to do that." And he's like, "Okay, bring them cosmopolitans."
Yeah, and he knows that he's starting some shit, and that he takes him the drinks. The guys come over, dump one of the cosmopolitans on David, and then this is the real part where you're like, all right, there's more to this guy, because it's not just that he can beat these guys up; it's how he's doing it. Like, he is beating the shit out of them with such ease, and all of his moves are very um, planned and direct. There's no, it's to cripple them, take them down. And you're
Well,
like,
and he
whoa,
also, the shot that he ended up ordering, he threw in somebody's face.
it was a weapon.
So, yeah. So, from that get go, you're like, he didn't order that to drink that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that all leads. That starts the bonding between Luke and David, as far as Luke uh, becoming, defending himself and everything. Anna ends up taking David to a little party. One of her friends has a party, and we also get David beating up a ex-boyfriend at the party, hooking up with the girl who's throwing the party, and then we get another hint that something is going on with David, because he asks about guns. He wants guns. He needs guns. And he's doing it sort of on the sly.
Well, also when because you had mentioned, this being kind of a mix between like Universal Soldier or something like that, because he's almost robotic. Uh, the sex scene he had with the girl at the party, like he's laying there not even moving. He's just like staring a hole in her. Then she's like, "Oh, are you okay? Are you not having fun?" And then it's almost like he takes the verbal cue to do
He
something,
turns
but
it on. Yeah, yeah,
he
like a
wasn't doing
machine.
anything. Yeah, he was just like staring.
Yeah, it's like, you're right. Like, he had to activate. Like, okay, yeah, this is it's time to hook up.
Human emotions
Yeah.
activate.
Yes. The truck ride back to the house sets up something that comes in later, and we were joking about the mixtape. They're listening to some music on the in the car or the truck or whatever, and she's he's like, yeah, I like this music. Can you make me a mixtape? Or she's like, offers him to make one, and then there's a whole scene where she's making it for him. And, writes David's mix on it.
I couldn't stop laughing. That was and Brian loves this style of music, but
I do.
it's like we were talking about straight out of like John Carpenter 80s like synth pop, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I do enjoy this music. I have a shit ton of it. Now I'm gonna have another soundtrack. I
Oh,
hope they're sold
fucking
that as a
hell.
soundtrack.
I
Let
don't
me
know. I'll
look
tell
that
you in a
up.
second. Go ahead and keep talking. I'll tell you.
Okay, it better be a soundtrack. All right, where are we at? So at some point, Anna gets a little. David is on the phone. He's being sort of aggressive outside. At that point, she just seems to have a few questions. So she contacts the military base he said he came from, and this starts a chain reaction that affects the rest of the film. And this is when things start to get very bizarre. We get this sequence of these soldiers, his name being flagged, and them sort of panicking, and then we get these guys in suits like in DC, meeting. And keep in mind, the entire film up to this point has been small town, no real sets, all like in houses, and just very small indie style filmmaking. Now all of a sudden we got these guys talking about ordering, squads of soldiers, and it's this whole thing. And we're introduced to a character, Major Carver, who's played by Lance Reddick, who was in The Wire. He was in John Wick films. Real good actor.
He's
And
also in Fringe.
okay, yeah, shit. So something's going on now, and then this leads to when David gets the gun, and that's the part of the movie where it starts to go insane. He kills the scene. It reminded me of the Jackal when the guy is running away from him. He shoots him. If you've not seen that movie, that's another one worth worth your time. But I wonder if they took that from Jackal.
Who
That
knows? It was
because the
very.
way the guy starts running, and then he just aims the gun and shoots him. That's exactly what popped in my mind. They're in the middle of nowhere. The guy takes off running, and I don't know. It felt like that to me.
Well, I felt like Inglorious Bastards when Hans was waiting for. He was gonna shoot her down and ended up not shooting, just like that prolonged aiming sequence.
Mm.
But I think it happens in a lot of movies. I've seen that in several. I've seen it in several different things.
So
But
he
the Jackal Zone came out significantly before either
90s,
of
right?
these.
I think it was in the 90s.
Yes.
So now he has the guns. He's killed people. So you're like, all right, this guy's there's some shit going on. The military's coming to get him. What's this all leading to? And Anna starts putting things together a lot more at this point because her father, the guy that had taken his position or was going to be his boss, ends up dying mysteriously. Her friend who was at the gun trade is dead. Her boyfriend is like set up for it. So she starts putting all this shit together. Like none of this shit makes sense. But it's funny how all of it's helping the Petersons.
Yes, which I thought was, was alluding to him. Like I didn't know whether or not he was going to be the bad guy at this point. He was weird, but I didn't know if something was going to be coming after the family. He was trying to prepare them, trying to help them. That picture indicated that he really did know Caleb. So at this point, like about halfway through the movie, I felt like something was up, but I didn't know if he was there to help them or not, because he was prior to that point. Yeah, he's fucked up. I didn't know if it was going to be he was, had severe PTSD or what direction it was going to go, but he was like you said, he helped the dad get his job because he killed the other guy. He beat the shit out of those guys that were picking on Luke. Like everything that was happening was helping them. It almost was like Uncle Eddie for our cousin Eddie on a vacation, Christmas vacation.
Yeah. uh, the Yeah, he helps him every turn he gets, and Luke gets in trouble at school. A kid, picking on him again. Luke steps up to the kid, beats the hell out of him, and they're gonna kick Luke out of school. And David comes in and helps him not get kicked out of school. Everything he does is to help the family, at that point, it seems to help the family. And then we get, I think it's about literally an hour and 10 minutes into the film. It's like the last 30 minutes. And then the movie just goes insane. And I could see where some people might not like this part of the film, or just, I could see people being annoyed maybe because it goes so insane. I loved it because you get this huge shootout. You have the military guys show up, and it turns into a Michael Bay movie for like 5 minutes. Just over the top shootout.
What it kind of reminded me of, though, the whole sequence was Fargo, where like he's trying to get away, he just shoots everybody up, and then you know, he starts driving, and he recognizes Spencer, and he gets in a head-on collision with the dad after the shootout, which was crazy. They're like doing suppressive fire, and he's like sitting under a bed and basically pet cemeterying people, shooting their way. But he makes it out, takes off, and then he ends up killing the dad who's on his way back home from work. Gets in an accident, kills him, and then steals somebody else's car and drives away. It just felt very Fargo-ish for a second. I was waiting for a wood chipper to come out and someone to get tossed in it.
It's funny. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It almost had a Coen Brothers twistedness to it, especially like that scene with the father and the way. Yeah, I see what you're saying. At first it was so bizarre because he ends up killing Laura first, and he stabs her with a knife, but he legitimately he keeps apologizing for it, and he says your son would understand. And it was like, well, why the hell is he killing her? And then he does the same with the father, but it's explained in a quick line of dialogue by one of the soldiers, by Major Carver, when he's driving with Anna. He basically says, and they don't explain shit in this movie as far as the military stuff.
I told you.
They really, yeah, they don't. But basically, he's like, there's a program where we're programming these guys, soldiers, making basically super soldiers, which they don't even say that. And he says that he's programmed in a way in which if he feels his cover or the mission or the project is compromised, he has to clean up any loose ends, kill anyone who's aware. And he can't control it. He says even if he wanted to, he wouldn't be able to stop it. And to me, that made me feel like, okay, so when he's apologizing to Laura and them, he did, I think, what part of him was still human, did care about the Petersons, was helping them, but based on the way he's been brainwashed, he has to terminate them. He doesn't have a choice.
Like Jet from Avatar, going to Lake Laogai, coming and going after, Qatar and all them.
So yeah. I have to count. I have to go back and watch this. How many references to just different shit we put in this episode? We're breaking the record.
Well, but this movie was all over the damn place.
And you know what? There's literally like a dozen genres. You're right. This movie is multiple
we haven't even
movies.
Got to the best part yet.
No, we're about to. Yeah, we're headed there. Well, shit. The diner. Let's get to the diner. So that was an insane scene. He gets to the diner, Okay, no, no, the cop had taken. We skipped that part. So he took Anna out of the diner. She was working, and the girl that he partied with
And slept
uh,
with and
and
hung out
hooked up
with.
with,
Yeah.
yeah, was at the diner. Now she knows who he is. They hooked up and everything, so she would be part of that list in his mind of, okay, I got targets that have to be eliminated. So he goes to talk to her. He realizes she's bullshitting him, protecting Anna. So he just straight shoots her. And then it was funny because when he does it, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, all those people saw you do that. Are you, you know what I mean? I'm thinking, oh, is he going to kill all these people or is he just going to leave? You know, because the guy said that he has to, erase any loose ends. Well, then he pulls out grenades and blows the whole fucking place up. It's like, okay,
It I don't and that to me, like there's a lot of movies with diners and Children of the Corn, and I was just trying to tax a couple more on,
there is a diner in a
Jay.
town that looks just like that, and yeah,
I
Children of the
know,
Corn.
and Jay and Silent Bob when they're stuck in that little diner and they're like shit. So there's several instances of something
That
like
one's
that. That
reaching.
yeah, it was, but they, but like you said, it was crazy because he puts the grenades up and like just smiles and like sorry and just rolls them and then takes off. I was like, holy shit.
Trying to think, it reminded me of what movie? Yeah, where a character blows some shit up and then you just sort of stand there while it happens, and oh
Oh,
my
that's a lot.
god,
Like
I know
fucking
there's like
Batman,
what
Dark Knight.
image, and yeah, yeah, like an image in my head of it. I don't know, but the Dark Knight, that's a good one. So yeah, he blows up the diner. So now Luke. So going back to the scene where Luke was going to get kicked out of school, David made it where he would just get detention. So he's having to serve detention at the school, helping build their haunted house maze for their Halloween party or whatever.
Which was so great because it's one line to basically set up this whole thing at the end. Because it's like he's got to serve detention.
And and now they have to go to the school to pick up Luke, and they went all out. Like, this is the great, no school makes a haunted house like this. It's insane. It's very well done. This
It was like
haunted,
Grease.
it's crazy. So they go there, and then it turns straight up into just a horror movie where the killer is chasing them through the haunted house, and he's using a box cutter as his weapon. Slits a guy's throat. But the best part is he shuts the lights down so all the spooky lights are on, and then he pulls David's mix, his synthwave
Yes.
mix, puts it in, and then the rest of the movie, the horror portion, is the synthwave wave playing. I was very happy with that.
Well, we talked about it before. John Carpenter did a lot of slasher type movies. So for this to turn into that with that kind of music, I thought was, I don't know if it was a tribute or if they did it to be, I don't know, cliche or just we're doing it to be assholes. It just fit. I,
Maybe they were trying to. Some of the action scenes were similar to like Escape from New York shootouts. There should have been a scene that they were smoking pot a couple times. There should have been like a scene where he was like being cool and smoking a cigarette, like Snake Plissken, but didn't do that. The so the Yeah, you have all that happening. He kills Major. I didn't see how he killed him. He just sliced his arm. Is that it? I must have missed it. I was
I
like, how the
it looked like he like stabbed him in the gut,
maybe that's what it was.
but it was hard to tell because there's 97 mirrors and
Yeah, the lights
like
all crazy.
yeah, feel like it. Oh, and not to be stupid, when we talked about John Wick, that was part of that scene in the first one where he's trying to find. So, like I said, there's lots of aspects from this movie that were very action oriented. There was a lot of horror aspects. Like it was just all over the fucking place.
Did you notice? Because I certainly noticed, and this was clearly on purpose. The back of the wall in one of the main rooms he walks by is the witch face, the skull face, and the pumpkin from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Yes.
Like it's the exact same artwork on
Well, and
like exact.
you said that you saw the your next like painted in
I
there too.
saw
So
that in a yeah. I didn't notice it when I saw the movie, but I was looking up images and stuff and saw it.
I just thought it was crazy, like you said, with how much work went into that was insane because it was so much and so many different things that it wasn't like necessarily a tribute, but how much of the budget went into building that haunted house?
They had to build,
Holy
yeah,
shit!
they built that. Yeah, definitely. The lighting throughout all that
Oh, the
whole sequence
lighting, the
would have been
music.
yes.
Fog, fog machines aren't expensive. Like when I was in high school, we did plays and used fog machines and shit, and it was. I mean, we had them. It was a cool effect because that came into play at the very end, but it felt like a better version of a high school play at that point because it was, you know, like we said, they had this giant, haunted house set up. They had, mirrors everywhere. It was, Danny Zuko was running around trying to find Sandy, and then, and then all of a sudden they started killing people.
Was her boyfriend's name Zeke?
I don't,
I wrote that in my
maybe.
notes. I wrote Zeke in my notes, and I'm like, what the fuck did I write Zeke?
I think so. I think that was his name because the other friend, the one from Dodgeball, his name was I want to say it was Craig or
It
something
was
stupid.
Craig. That I
Yeah.
remember. It was Craig. I mean, I gotta look. Hold on, because I wrote it in my notes, but I had no context to why I wrote it. Yep, it was Zeke. There it is. Okay. The
You had
Zeke.
Zeke, David, Craig, Spencer, Anna,
Yeah.
Luke.
The ending scene that highlighted more of the Anna was like problem solving, and she even came up with a plan to beat him, and it almost worked. She made the fake tracks with her, took her boots off, and she ended up getting the gun and shooting him. But he was about to kill her, and then Luke comes up with a knife that he had given to him earlier. I forgot to mention that, and stabs him. And then the weirdest scene, he's lying there, and he said, I think I wrote it down. He says something along the lines of, don't feel bad, you did the right thing.
And then gives him like a big thumbs up.
It gives him a thumbs up. But to me, it felt, going back to the whole, he really didn't have any animosity towards the Petersons and wanted to, in fact, help them. His killing them was more his programming. He couldn't help it. And I think he felt sort of proud of Luke because Luke had learned what he'd been trying to teach him,
Yeah,
and
because like
of
you said, the thumbs up and all the things. It felt, it was weird because it turned into a slasher movie, but then the bad guy became the, I don't know, sympathetic character. You felt sorry for him again because you're just like, oh shit, like he couldn't help it, but he did kill both of their parents,
yes, yeah.
three other people, shot their friend and blew up like five other people in a diner. He killed a fuck ton of people, and you still feel sorry for him.
And they come out of the schools on fire, and they come out, and there's all these people around them, medical personnel helping them, firemen in the building, guys in suits who I'm assuming are tied to whatever the hell this secret project is. And then you get that last shot of one of the firemen coming out limping, and we know that David had been hurt in the leg. And he looks up, and you could tell through the mask it is David. And then we cut the credits. But yeah, it was a wild ride, very unpredictable, and
Hopefully the crickets and everything are too loud. I stepped outside to let the dog out that was being an asshole.
I don't hear him.
Okay, that's good. It's not too loud out here.
You
Oh,
dropped the
oh,
phone. Hello?
oh, fuck. Oh, like for real serious. Oh, oh fuck. Oh, oh shit.
What'd you hit?
Oh, ah, my knee hit the concrete.
The concrete.
Whew. All right, we can continue now. I'm sitting up.
Are you bleeding?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, damn. All right, I'll wrap
So
this
you can
up.
either leave that part in
I
or
was
edit
I
it
can cut
out.
it out. Yeah.
Oh fuck! Because he stepped right in front of me, and I missed like the bottom three stairs going outside,
Oh,
and so I landed like stiff legged. Like when you walk off a curb,
oh
and
yeah.
it
Oh,
felt
yeah.
like my knee buckled, and
Oh,
then my other knee just smacked the ground. Oh shit! Oh motherfucker! Oh, go take a piss now, fucker! I'm going back inside, and you're sitting in your goddamn box.
must have licked the wound.
Oh, he did. He was looking at my face while I was laying on the ground. Oh, God damn it. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Uh, we were talking about David, how he was able to pretend to be a firefighter and walked out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the movie. I'm curious if they'll ever do a sequel. I mean, technically you could if you wanted to. I don't know. I think the movie's garnered sort of a cult following at this point.
They could do it straight to DVD or straight to Netflix at this point. I don't know.
I don't know. Dan Stevens is a pretty big name now. Have to pay him the big bucks.
Yeah, with Legion and like
He
you
was the
said,
Beast, dude.
yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
He was Beauty and the Beast. He was. I'm curious about. He did that movie Apostle, which I've heard good things about, and I don't even know what he's working on now. But yeah, that's the guest. Thanks for listening. We're gonna um, new Perry Mason review on Friday. Or not Friday, shit. Sunday. And yeah,
Look at all our
anything
other
else?
movie reviews.
There's a
Brian
bunch
said
of
that I
them.
get to. Brian said I get to pick next week's, and then we were
Yes,
talking
I have
about
no
doing
idea what
like
it's gonna
genres.
be.
So we might do like a month of westerns or something like that. That's what we were talking about starting. So not
If
westerns specifically. I was just thinking of genres.
if anybody's listening at this point and you have a recommendation, not that we'll take it, but you can put it in the comments below, and we might.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for ideas. I mean, I have a couple, but I wouldn't be unopposed to listening. Oh, and Dan Stevens was in. We talked about that Downton Abbey
Yeah.
and upcoming projects. He's got The Rental, which I don't know what that is, and Blythe Spirit, about
Hell yeah.
some a spiritualistic medium holds a seance for a writer suffering from writer's block.
There you go.
So
Dan Stevens. All right. We'll see y'all next time.
bye.
Bye.